This may, however, come as no surprise as Namibia continues to make headlines as one of the most expensive countries to live in worldwide when it comes to land and housing costs. In general, Windhoek is rated the 10th most expensive city on the African continent by the international database Numbeo. This is an improvement from last year's 7th place. However, in the SADC region, it remains the most expensive city. The survey looks at different indexes when determining the cost of living in cities around the world. This includes the rent, electricity, groceries, and restaurant costs, among others.
If I tell somebody that inflation is actually going up by about 5%, nobody's going to believe me on the street because they know at the beginning of the year they're paying over 10% for their school fees, they're paying over 13% for water and electricity, their rental income has gone up by over 10%. So that expectation already tells you that within the market, inflation is entrenched, prices are going up much faster than what it is being actually publicly disseminated. And those are some of just the bottlenecks that do exist. Now, it's because of these rising prices that the city seems to be getting more and more expensive. And it's not necessarily all corporations that are able to meet whatever metrics that are taking place in the country, meaning it's not every single corporation that can actually increase wages at a higher rate to what the individual consumer is actually spending at a store.
We also asked Kavishe whether the cost of living in the capital is justifiable, as Windhoek is smaller than many other cities in Africa.
Probably not, but at the rate at which people are coming into the country, the rate at which business is booming, you would expect that some of the prices that we have are globally competitive and are also increasing at that specific rate. For example, I think it's generally a standard amongst economists that whatever inflation number that the public institution releases, the best thing to do is actually double it. And I can say that with a lot of conviction for a place like Namibia. There is such a big disconnect between the rich and the poor. And what you will find is the rich tend to be more centralized within Windhoek. But then you also have the outskirts of areas where not a lot of people who are earning as much money live there. So you find that as a city, it seems to be more expensive than any other area within the country.
Later in the bulletin, through our weekly poll question, we will also give you the opportunity to share your view on the cost of living in the capital. So be sure not to miss that one. For the News on One, I'm Francios Olivier.